someone who's going to be pretty happy looking at this is going to be Mr. Dylan Larkin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Dylan Larkin, noted captain of the Detroit Red Wings, and this is on 32 Thoughts, the podcast. It was speculated that basically maybe right now, if Larkin wants to play in Detroit, he's probably going to have to take a pay cut. They're not going to be able to give him this eight spare chain sort of contract. But look at Dylan Larkin now. Obviously, he's at 6.1 million in a sort of at the end of of his contract. He is a centerman, and he has had a higher offensive upside than Bo Horvat. He's hit 70 points before, 69 last year. Nice. It's fair to say, again, maybe not the sort of Horvat also has the thing of he's got that on ice sort of playoff style of his game, but it's pretty safe to say that Dylan Larkin is probably looking in the same boat, and that's going to be long term in the eights at least to start.
You know why? Because they gave Ben Sherratt that money.
Man, I will never forget. Also, what's another one is I got to double check this. Someone mentioned this to me, and I could not stop laughing. So Andrew Kopp is in the first year of a 5-year deal, making $5.6 million.
Yeah,
I forgot about that.
Go
one.
look. He has 5 goals in 48 games. Holy crap!
How many assists?
21.
Yeah,
Okay.
26 points in total.
Which is like, if you look at what he has been over his career, that like, with the exception of the last 2 years where it was over half a point a game. This is what Andrew Kopp was before.
I said he had 5 goals, right?
Yeah.
Ben Sherratt has 4.
Yeah.
Also a minus 19, by the way.
Who, Ben Sherratt?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, makes sense.
Oh God, unprotected first.
My guess, as if I know anything, like I saw Frank. Like, listen, I think this was more of an opinion rather than fact or insider information. Was that like Frank Cervelli was talking about him getting a contract starting with a 9? That's not going to happen. Like I maybe if he gets to the open market, listen, there's teams out there who are going to spend. I wouldn't be surprised. I can't imagine him getting $9 million with the Detroit Red Wings. I could be completely wrong. And if he signs for a 8x9 contract next week, like screw it, I'm wrong. But I think if you look at what they're asking him to be, or what he is, I can't see them giving him more than 8, and that's I don't think they're gonna. I don't think if he's a Detroit Red Wing past July 1st this year, I'd imagine it's for $8 million or less.
When do we have this? Sorry, go ahead, Daniel.
Oh yeah, I was just gonna say, it really depends. Like, what does Detroit view themselves as right now? Like, how much are they going to rely on a lot of the younger guys? They have these other contracts where I always thought they were very questionable. Like when they went on that spending spree, and I don't know why they did go for it. Maybe just to fill in the roster, but like there's so many years on those. Like we have David Perron. We already mentioned Andrew Cobb and Ben Sherratt. Wouldn't you want, like, in my opinion, like, wouldn't you want to have your captain locked down, giving him what he and his agent view as fair value going forward, to just, I don't inject something into that system? Because did they expect to like contend? They not contend at least, or like did they expect to at least try to make it to the playoffs? Like they expect to have better goaltending.
I don't think they expected to contend considering the division they're in. I think they expected maybe to have more of a push for closer to a wild card spot, essentially playing competitive games closer to April. That's just not, unfortunately, happening. Like they're a middle team in the wild card race, to be honest, at the moment. So but I don't think they ever looked to be a team that was going to contend for a playoff spot. Like you just look at all the teams in front of them. Are they really better than them right now? And I think the answer was no from the beginning of the season. I think that answer was no. I think we've seen the first wave of young guys come up, and I think they have more. I think they're drafting and developing is what's gonna have to keep pushing them forward. Like I don't think this rebuild is over. Like no one's come out. It's not like Pierre Dorian who came out and said the rebuild's over. No one said that. I still think they're a few years away from being good, like really good.
Mm-hmm.
That's it to me.
It's just the way I'm seeing it is just, I'm looking at age of the other guys they got with all that money. I'm looking at who you'd want to have moving forward when everything comes together. And would you rather have like a Dylan Larkin than, again, I'm going to say like with an Andrew Copp or a David Perron?
You know what doesn't help if there is a cap crunch here, by the way? Right now, buried in the AHL. Listen, we don't know. Hit my phone, sorry. And we may never know what exactly is up between the Red Wings and Jacob Vrana. He makes $4.1 million this year. $4.1 million. Sorry, this is, I assume, the buried cap hit. Let me double check his exact one, which
his
is
exact 5 point, yeah.
And Nick Alberga did have a tweet. My phone is very sort of messy right now, but it was, here we go. For those waiting on a Jacob Vrana recall, don't hold your breath. While anything is possible, I'm hearing it's highly likely he's played his final game with Detroit. Likely scenario, trade or off-season buyout. Now, obviously, he was in the player assistance program, completed it, then came back to the team. He's been in Grand Rapids. I want to, again, we may never know, or if we do find out, it'll probably be from Jacob Vrana after he's left the organization. But they're going to have to, if they buy him out, then listen, the Anthony Mantha trade is one that looks bad for both teams. They gave up, I want to say they gave up assets to get Nedeljkovic, who is also in the minors. Ben Sherratt was a disastrous signing from the moment we saw it. Maybe I'm being a bit hard here, but I'm wondering if it's time to start criticizing Steve Yzerman here. Because this isn't costing them wins, and I get it, but there are little moves here that I'm starting to be like, okay, you're Steve Yzerman. I acknowledge what you did in Tampa, but I gotta criticize you on the bad too here. And they're starting to see some bad moves. I'm not blaming him purely for Vrana because we don't know, but there's some smoke there.
So with the buyout, if they did it in the summer, 1.4 this next season, and then 1.9 the year after.
That's not bad.
It's not bad, yeah. But I think if you're looking at the moves they made, sure, they've made some very questionable moves. Or a couple questionable moves. Fine, Alex Nedeljkovic didn't work out. Ben Sherratt didn't work out, but like, if I'm being like Ben Sherratt after has 4 years, including this year left. When are they going to be competitive under that contract?
Maybe when there's 2 or 1 years left, probably. If all goes well.
I don't know what to. The issue I have is like I don't know what to look at this team as of what it is right now. Like they have young guys who are coming up. Obviously, like Mo Seider, you look at Lucas Raymond, like it's just what else, like more so where are the rest of the prospects, I think is the question. Like they're there, they've been drafting. Didn't they have a bunch of draft picks last year? Like they're there, they're somewhere, but they're not here yet. Like that's We don't know the plan, right? That's what I think this issue is. We don't know the plan. Like when is this team going to be competitive?
Is the plan not though then is there not a few steps back? Because then it becomes a problem with if Larkin goes, and I could look very stupid here because knowing Steve Yzerman, a contract extension can come out of nowhere.
Right.
But like who the hell in that system is going to be the next Dylan Larkin?
What is Dylan Larkin?
I think he's safe to say he is a top 6 center who is incredibly fast, the kind of player you want in today's game, who is capable of getting you 30 goals and 70 points.
Is he a number one center? Is he a number one center on a contending team?
No. See, he's that weird category where is he better than Nazem Kadri? Maybe, but he's not like Nathan McKinnon. It's that very weird center category. That very strange. God damn it! That's my.
Would you compare him to a William Nylander on the way the Leafs are right now?
Nah, I think Nylander's nastier.
Okay.
Oh, so you mean role wise?
Yeah, role wise, like that. Like
if he was, if you put him onto a top team, that would be like a second line role. I think that's fair. I think that's very fair.
Or I'll use another. I know this is a basketball comparison, but like he's not a Vince Carter. He's a Chris Bosh.
You're talking to the wrong guy.
Okay.
I can.
Okay, he's I'll use a more recent one. He's a Pascal Siakam, not a Kawhi Leonard.
Okay, yeah, that's sure.
Like the thing with the thing I look at with Dylan Larkin is like, okay, so listen, I'm taking what Frank Seravalli is. I'm just using it as what I think he's asking for. Like if he's asking for $9 million, what does okay, let me ask you this. Mika Zibanejad, first line center, or sorry, elite center, like that's a guy who's first line center on a contending team, right?
Yeah, I think he's turned into that.
How much does Mika Zibanejad make? $8.5 million.
Yeah.
Like you're saying I'm making more than Mika Zibanejad.
Yeah, like that's a tough sell for me.
Yeah. Right. Like that's the thing is like, you're right. He's in the middle ground of being a number one center and being a number two center on a contending team. Like I think he's in that middle ground, and that's the tough part to figure out what on earth this guy's going to make and where he's going to go. It's tough to justify like a contract starting with 9 if what Seravalli's saying is accurate in terms of what he's asking for, what he could get.